He raped me in my room and he left. He just stood up and was, I'm sorry, that's not the plan. I didn't plan to do this. I was crying and looking at my husband. He was useless. He was useless, totally useless. He was just drinking.
The heart of some men are indeed wicked. This woman you are seeing in this video, her name is Dorothy. She's a Nigerian based in US. After listening to her story, I've been asking myself, how do some people feel so comfortable to betray someone they once loved just because they want to make it quick? According to Dorothy, in the year 2002, she got married, and after she got married, she and her husband agreed to go to America for honeymoon. Before then, she had been traveling to America and coming back, but the husband never had access to America. So they applied for his visa came out, and they both agreed that Dorothy was going to travel first, then later the man would join her. Okay? Note, these people just wanted to go to America for honeymoon, spend some time, come back to Africa, then face their business or job, whatever they were doing. But when Dorothy got to America, stories started unfolding even before the husband could join her. My people, the heart of men, the heart of some men are truly deep. Now, this man said he doesn't have family in America. But what happened next will shock you. Listen to Dorothy's story.
So after our traditional marriage and everything, we both traveled to America. I came in first. And I remember when I was coming, he told me before I left, he said, when you get to America, don't interact with anybody that says that they're my family. I don't have any family there. So that kind of felt weird and strange to me. But I believed him. He was, I mean, he was a good person at that point. So I believed everything he said. So when I got to America and I went to where I used to rent then from a Nigerian couple, we were just talking one evening and the lady said, "Oh, by the way, do you know that your husband has a brother in Baltimore?" I said, "My husband has a brother in Baltimore." She said, "Yes, he has a brother in Baltimore." So, like I was saying, I was shocked when I heard that he had a brother here. So I became curious and I asked my landlord, the Nigerian man, to please take me to the place if he knows where he lives. He said, "Oh yeah, we're good friends. We went to college together, so I can take you there." So one evening, he made a call to the man. He said, "Oh, your brother got married in Nigeria, yeah?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, his wife is here and she would like to see you." And the man was so excited over the phone. He said, "Oh, let me come. Let me just come and see her. Let me just come." So the next day, he drove down to Upper Marlborough, where I lived then. Well, I still live in Upper Marlborough, but he drove down to the place I used to stay then. And it was a very beautiful meeting. I mean, he was so excited. He was so happy. He said, "Oh, yeah, we heard you got married." And he got married, and we're so excited, and we welcome you to the family, blah, 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 blah. I was so surprised. I was surprised that my husband could even keep this type of secret from me. So I called him that day, or when he called, I spoke to him, and I'm like, "I heard you have a brother here." He said, "Yes, don't go to them. Don't go to them. Don't talk to them. They're evil. They're evil." I said, "Okay." But that made me more curious. So that weekend, I called the man. I said, I want to come and see you in Baltimore. So he actually drove down and took me to his house. His wife was excited. They have a daughter, and everybody was so happy that I was there. I spent that night and I came back the next night. And when I came back, I spoke to my husband. I said, "Well, I met your brother. Why would you even lie to me about your brother?" He said, "Well, they're not good. He's been in America for more than 40 years. He doesn't come home and he doesn't do anything for people at home. So we don't really." I said, "That doesn't mean that you have to hide the fact that you have a brother from me." So we had that argument, and then it was a very short argument. He apologized and everything. So a few weeks later, when he was coming, remember I said I came first because he had to tidy up some things back home. He said his goods just came, so he had to, try to sell some and then, try to put things together with his boys before coming. So he was done with all that, and it was time for him to come and meet me. So he called me 2 nights to his arrival and said, "You know what? I'm not coming to where you are. I'm going to go straight to my brother." And I'm like, "I thought you said you're bad. They are bad people." He said, "Don't worry. We're trying to reconcile. I'm going to go to them. So when I get to Baltimore, I'll let you know." I said, "Okay." So true to his words, he got to Baltimore and I went there. When I got there, his brother was like, "Since you people don't have a permanent place to stay, since you're just renting, can you just stay, spend some time with us? Let's just get to know each other better and things like that." And I was like, "Okay," because me, I'm an open book. I flow with any flow. But, I've learned my lesson and I've really learned it in a very hard way. So we stayed for a few days and then I insisted we'll come back. So we came back to where I was renting here in Upper Marlboro. And his brother kept calling, he would call every minute of the day to talk to him and things like that. And this went on for like a week. Then he told me, "Oh, my brother is trying to get me a job." I said, "A job? We're supposed to come and just go." He said, "No, one of my cousin is a manager in KFC. They're going to try to slot me in there to work for a while, while we're here so that we can have enough money to go home." That didn't really sound okay to me because I know money was not our problem at that point. He was doing very well at home and I had a very good job. So money was not really the problem, but he insisted he wanted to stay back so he can make some money. As a new wife, I had to obey him because I didn't really have any reason to doubt him at that point. So the sister or the cousin would come and pick him up on. She always pick him up on Sunday evening. And when she comes, guys, you need to see the way this lady behaves. She wouldn't even come to the place where she wouldn't come inside. She would be outside blaring her horn, like, "Come out, let's go, let's go, let's go." She picks him up on Sundays at around 4, 3 p.m. and then she drops him off on Saturday night around 11 p.m. Did you hear what I just said? She'll pick him up on Sunday evening around 3 p.m., sometimes even earlier than that. And then she will drop him back up on Sunday, the next week Sunday. She will drop him on Friday, the next week Friday, um, around 11 p.m. So I was just barely spending 5, 6 hours with my husband for all that period of time. And it went on for like 2, 3 months. I didn't really bother myself. I didn't really complain. I was just like, "It's okay. It's all right. I'll wait until we're ready to go back." So this continued. And then suddenly he called me and said, "My brother wants you to come over so we can have a meeting." And I was like, "Okay, when are you coming home?" He said he won't be able to come home this weekend. I should just come. I said, "No, let's put it to next week. When she drops you off next week, maybe I'll come. I'll follow you on that Sunday for the meeting." And that was what we did. So we got to this meeting. I got to the brother's house and he said the meeting was not holding in his house, but the meeting will be holding in Maryland, in Hyattsville. And I'm like, "Okay." So we all drove from there to Maryland. When we got to the house, it's a pretty big house, a house that was able to fit more than 50 people is pretty big. I mean, their living room was big and I just came in and I saw a lot of people. And because it was a Sunday, I thought maybe they're just there for get together and they're there for, just sharing things together. I didn't know the meeting was because of me. So everybody sat down in this semi-circle kind of sitting, and I was at the last edge. I was at the edge of the chair, and my husband was sitting right beside me. So they started the meeting. The oldest man in their family then, that man was in his late 60s at that time. He should be close to 80 now, but I've not seen him for 22 years. I've not seen them. So this elderly man, the oldest man, stood up and was like, "Oh, thank you very much for bringing our brother to America. Really appreciate your effort." Because, I got him the visa because I was affiliated with the American embassy. So getting a visa was nothing. So he was like, "Thank you for bringing our brother. We've been trying to bring him all this while, but we couldn't. So we really appreciate you bringing him." And then everybody was clapping and, talking to me. I was smiling and just trying to be nice to everybody. So he said, okay, well, we thank you, but the thing is that your marriage is going to be over today. Yeah, this man said my marriage was going to be over that day. And I couldn't put anything, I couldn't believe him. I was like, okay, maybe this is a joke. And he repeated himself. And I looked at my husband who was sitting right beside me. I was like, are you hearing your brother? Are you hearing what he's saying? And to my surprise, my husband just started drinking his life away. He was just pouring drinks in a cup. He would pour the cup and he would drink and he would pour more. He was just drinking and drinking. And this is a man that never drank. He was a deacon in the church when I met him in Togo. So we were Christians to the core. So I never saw him drink anything alcoholic. But that day, as soon as we got to that gathering, he started serving himself from the drinks that he presented. He was just drinking and drinking. I was like, why are you drinking? He just kept drinking, and it got to a point he became drunk. So I guess he tried to drink to numb himself from anything happening. So he was drunk. So at that point, it was useless to me. So I was just talking to the people. I was like, what is going on? What did I do? What happened? They said, well, one, you are older than him, which is a lie. Guys, if I show you the picture of this man now, I am 57, by the way, almost 57, and he is 58, 59. If you see him now, you will see the difference in our age. So that day they said, "Oh, you're older than him, and you already have a child." Because I was married once. Said you already have a child, so we feel it's a deception. I said, "What are you talking about? Your brother asked me to marry him. He pursued me for more than a year before I could even let him talk to me about marriage. He pursued me before I could even let him into my house, to visit like he wanted to. He pursued me through my parents, because he would, whenever my parents visited me in Togo, he would come and entertain them, take them out and things. And once he started talking to them about marriage, they felt like I should just marry him. And to me, he was a good person, so why wouldn't I marry somebody like that? And their story of him being older than me was so strange. But what do I do? What can I do? Or what could I have done at that point? So I was just asking them. I said, please, what is going on? I said, what is really going on? They said, well, we just told you the marriage is over. So we're going to be taking our brother from here to where we're going to situate him so he can get his green card and live his life. So we release you and we permit you to go on with your life. Whew. That was a big blow that day. I was just crying. I was crying and looking at my husband. He was useless. He was useless, totally useless. He was just drinking. So I went to the oldest woman there, a woman in her 60s too. And I knelt down. She was sitting. I knelt in front of her and I held onto her legs. I said, Mama, what is going on? What did they say I did? What did I do? She said, my dear, I don't have any say about this. The men have spoken, so you just have to leave. And that was when I started shouting and crying, calling on my mother. Mama, help me. What is this? And this old woman told me, said, your mother is millions of miles away and she cannot hear you. So just take hold of yourself and leave. I was still crying anyway. I was on the floor that time crying. That's what I told them. I said, look, I'm about 2 months pregnant. What do I do? They say, give the child to your father. That's a good thing. We heard your father don't have a lot of children. So give this child to your father, but you're not going to tie our brother up with any pregnancy. We're taking him today. I went back to the old woman. She said the same thing she said. And I was just crying and crying. And the my husband's sister-in-law came to me and said, we're sorry for what is going on, but my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do. So we're going for a baby shower. Do you want us to drop you off? I said yes. She said, okay, you know what? We can't even drop you off. You have to wait for the baby shower to end, and then we will drop you off after the baby shower. I said, okay. So they took me in their car and they drove me to the baby shower. And I didn't want to go in because I was looking horrible, crying for hours. I was just looking terrible. And I stayed in their car. Everybody knows how long it takes to have a baby shower.